What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and a lot going on in Congress today to get you caught up on. This is your Build Back Better and stimulus check update. Now, take a look, you guys. Coming out just 2 hours ago from the Associated Press, raw Senate debate and fight to end the voting bill filibuster. That's right, happening right now. We're hearing that they're actually fighting to see if they're going to get this pushed through. And I let you know in my last video, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer let us know that even though they don't have everybody on board in the Democratic Party, they're still pushing this through. He said, is this historic? It's too important, and it's time for them to decide right now what side of history they're going to be standing on. And take a look, you guys, coming out today as well. Joe Manchin says that he sees no point in holding a vote on the voting rights that is almost certain to fail, thanks in part to him. And he's saying, listen, don't waste any time on bringing it up for a vote. It's not ready, and I'm not going to vote in favor of it. But take a look at these subtitles, you guys. Joe Manchin wants to avoid an expected vote that will divide the Democratic Party, but Manchin still wants his party to continue to work on the voting rights. So maybe he's saying he wants them to continue because he wants to get it at a place where he will agree on it. But right now, we're hearing that he doesn't. But take a look at this. Top party leaders have brushed off efforts to delay a vote, saying we're not waiting any longer. Decide, are you going to be in favor or not? Because we're bringing this up for a vote. And we heard from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer likely today. Now, also, in addition to that, speaking of Joe Manchin, take a look at this, you guys. Also coming out just 5 hours ago, Manchin aims to restrict the child tax credit eligibility in the Build Back Better. That's right, that stimulus reconciliation bill that I've been keeping you up to date on. We're hearing that they want to pull out bits and pieces. They're going to break up the bill and pass through whatever it is that Joe Manchin will agree upon. And now we're getting updates specifically on the child tax credit in that bill and what it will take for him to pass it through. So you guys, a lot unfolding today. I'm going to get you caught up as to what's going on right now. And also wanted to let you guys know that the new video is going to be dropping on the Steve Ram Finance channel this week. And I'm going to be sharing with you a new investment opportunity that you could get in early on if interested. And that is going to be the metaverse and all the different ways that you can get involved and pretty much explaining just what it is altogether. If you are interested in that or learning about growing wealth and personal finance, consider joining. I'll pin a comment down below. You can click the link, go subscribe, turn on notifications, and keep an eye out for that new video coming this week. And I hope it's going to be a blessing to a lot of people. But right now, you guys, let's go ahead and get you caught up on the latest with voting rights, Build Back Better, and everything happening in Congress. And let's start off by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second, really helps me out a ton with the algorithm. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here, totally free to stay up to date and come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive right in and let's start off with this video footage that's going to be covering what's happening right now in the Senate with the debates on voting rights. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
It feels like there's a lot of collateral political damage coming from this. Emily's List and NARAL and what they've said with Kirsten Sinema. This is a debate that's going to leave a mark inside this party. How's everybody getting along? Is it getting ugly inside that Democratic Senate caucus right now?
Well, there's a couple things. First, there's one thing that Republicans and Democrats do agree on, and that is the historical importance of this vote tonight. That was the essence of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's speech today, saying that all senators are going to go on this historical record of where they stand. Of course, he's opposed to it, and he thinks that this is horrible for the institution. And then Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said essentially the same thing, that this is an important vote for that historical record, and some senators are going to be on the wrong side of history, and other senators are going to be on the right side of history. As far as politics is concerned, well, I mean, I keep asking this question. There is a lot of frustration, of course, among Democrats with Senators Manchin and Senator Sinema. One aide I was just talking to said they don't see how Senator Sinema runs for re-election in 2024 because politically speaking, this is just so bad for her politics. But it's also a long way away, Chuck.
Leon, I got to ask one more question, though, about this. Senator McConnell already changed the filibuster rules, right, for Supreme Court justices. So, part of this is always, either how is it that Sinema and Manchin think that, we can't get rid of something we've had here for years with Actually, they keep moving the line all the time, right? Over the last 10 years, we've changed the rules of the filibuster a bunch of times. And I don't understand how Senator McConnell thinks they don't look like hypocrites here. They changed the rules for issues they care about, like the Supreme Court. How dare a political party go the other way?
Right, that's exactly right, and that's part of the argument the Democrats are making to Senators Manchin and Sinema. And you hit the nail on the head, and I'm so happy you brought this up, Chuck, because of course Republicans want to keep in a 60-vote threshold for legislation. Republicans usually don't have big legislative plans like Democrats do. Historically, they want to roll back government, they want to cut taxes, which you can do in the Senate with a simple majority. So all of the things that Republicans care about, they already have a simple majority, like judges and nominations. And so, but it wasn't enough to convince Senators Manchin and Sinema, and we know that Senator McConnell has been talking to them as well.
So there you have it, you guys. That is happening right now in the Senate. Let me know your thoughts. And I've got an article here with a little bit more context for you. And in a second, we're going to be talking about Joe Manchin, Build Back Better, and child tax credits. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article, though. It says, senators faced off in emotional raw debates Wednesday on voting legislation that Democrats and civil rights leaders say is vital for protecting democracy. But that's almost certain to be defeated without a filibuster rules change, which we're hearing is the main thing that Manchin is not in favor for. And it's a stunning setback for President Joe Biden and his party. Now, despite his late push, Biden has been unable to persuade those two holdout Democrats, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, to change the Senate rules so that the party can overpower a Republican filibuster that is blocking the voting bill. Now, the two senators have withstood an onslaught of criticism from black leaders and civil rights organizations, and they risk further political fallout as other groups and even their own colleagues threaten to yank campaign support. Now, in piercing speeches, the debate is carrying echoes of an earlier era when the Senate filibuster was deployed by opponents of civil rights legislation. It comes as Democrats and other voting advocates nationwide warn that Republican-led states are passing laws making it more difficult for Black Americans and others to vote by consolidating polling locations, requiring certain types of identification, and ordering other changes as well. Now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer vowed that the fight is not over and ridiculed Republican claims that the new election laws in the states won't end up hurting voter access and turnout. And I shared that with you earlier today, that speech that came out from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. And he said, we are going to keep fighting long after today. Now, Democrats decided to push ahead at a tumultuous time for the president and his party. Biden is marking his first year in office, and with his priorities stalling out in the face of a solid Republican opposition and the Democrats' inability to unite around their own goals. Now, the Freedom to Vote John R. Lewis Act combines earlier bills into one package that would make Election Day a national holiday and ensure access to early voting and mail-in ballots, which have become especially popular during the pandemic, and enable the Justice Department to intervene in states with a history of voter interference, among other changes. So you guys, those are some of the things that are currently on the floor right now that are being discussed and debated. And we're hearing it's going to be happening today. And I will be sure to keep you up to date and see if they're going to get Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema on board, or if this is all going to fall apart on the Senate floor. Now let's discuss Build Back Better and stimulus reconciliation bills. Now, as you know, right now, the Build Back Better bill has been on pause. The focus has been on voting rights. However, we're hearing that in the background, they're pulling this bill apart and they're trying to put together something that Joe Manchin will get on board for. And one of the main things that he said he has a grievance with is the child tax credit. Take a look at this article, you guys. Came out today, and it says Manchin won't support child tax credit without work requirements. So he's saying that in order for you to collect this, you need to be actively working. And it says the American Rescue Plan, which Biden signed into law back in March of 2021, it increased the maximum child tax credit to an amount of $2,000 up to $3,600 per child ages 5 and under, and $3,000 for those between 6 and 17. Now, extending the enhanced child tax credit through the Build Back Better Act would potentially reduce child poverty by about 40%, according to research from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. Now, as the Senate struggles to pass the Build Back Back Better spending bill and the child tax credit expires, childhood poverty rates are expected to increase. And take a look at this chart, you guys. Expiration of the child tax credit will result in higher child poverty. It says among blacks, it will jump from 13% to 22%. Latinos, it'll jump from 12 to 21%. American Indian and Alaska Native, 10 to 18%. Asian, 9 to 13%. And whites, it'll jump from 5% up to 8%. So here they're saying that if they pass this expansion, it's going to be helping out with child poverty, fighting that. But they're saying if it does not, and it goes back to how it was while we're in the middle of this pandemic, it will add significantly, in some cases almost doubling childhood poverty around the nation. So that is the latest on that, you guys, coming out today, and it's very likely we're going to be hearing a whole lot more on stimulus reconciliation, Build Back Better, a lot of the provisions that they'd like to pass as voting rights is the primary focus, but we'll be passing here very soon. And I'll be sure to keep you up to date on everything as it rolls out here on the channel. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash the like button. Helps out the channel a ton. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, as I mentioned, totally free, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. And if you're interested in joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, I'll pin a comment down below. You can click it, go subscribe, turn on notifications. Keep an eye out for that second video coming out this week on a big opportunity to get in early on a new potential investment, you guys. I'll give you all the details on the metaverse. But with that being said, hope this reaches you well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.